chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, titled Contents of the Gita Summarized, in which Lord Krishna will speak the transcendental knowledge to Arjuna to slowly make Arjuna come out of depression and grief. So we have seen in the first chapter that Arjuna has refused to fight on the ground of compassion for his relatives and citing several reasons of moral reasons or worldly reasons. Now in this chapter, Krishna does not sympathize with Arjuna's arguments. He reminds that it is the duty of Arjuna to fight, and his refusal to fight is a sign of weakness of heart, which will not be seen in a good light by the opposing party. Now, Arjuna is still reluctant to start fighting, although it is the desire of Krishna that he should fight. So Arjuna surrenders unto Krishna. Now, till this point of time, they both were arguing because now Arjuna was dealing with Krishna in a role of friendship. Now, and when he sees that it is not going further, now Arjuna surrenders unto Krishna in a submissive mood and becomes his disciple, and tells Krishna that now onwards I am your disciple, please instruct me as a teacher. Then Krishna starts imparting him the first and fundamental principle that Krishna tells Arjuna is that we are soul, the concept of soul. We are soul and not this material body. The soul cannot be killed, but the material body is subject to death. And everyone present on the battlefield are eternal souls. But in the war or in the battle, those whose bodies will be only destroyed, but they will be elevated to higher planetary system, heavenly planets. So that is a good sign for those who are present in the battlefield and going to fight. So the soul is eternal, but the material body that the soul is covered is subject to death. So Bhishma, Karna, or whoever was present, they were related to him via the body. So, but Arjuna was not aware about the soul, but he was just aware about the external covering, that body. So now a person is an individual, but his body will perish. Just like Lord Krishna says that in this life also we are changing our bodies. From we are having a small body of a baby, then this body grew to a child, to a young boy or a girl, and then to adult. Then in due course it will become old, and this body, the soul will change a body according to its activities and its desire. So there is nothing to lament in here, because the soul is eternal. But the same soul, there is someone who is observing the changes, and that is constant. That does not undergo any change, because that is one which witnesses everything, and that is the soul. The changes in body are witnessed by the actual person who is soul. So there is nothing to lament. So now, after saying the concept of soul. Now, Krishna gives another principle of working without fruitive results or karma yoga. Now, the concept of soul comes under Sankhya Yoga, that is analysis of matter and spirit. But now Lord Krishna talks about karma yoga, that is working without desiring any results, working in a spirit of devotion. And Krishna says that one should do his duty not aspiring for any worldly results, but with a mood of devotion, that is without attachment to the results. And if one has such a mentality, then he will not be bound to the material world. So he can free himself from the cycle of birth and death, and then he will become eligible to enter the kingdom of God. So broadly, that these are the two paths, these are the two concepts covered in the second chapter. The first one is the concept of soul, the misidentification. The soul gives a correct identity that we are not this body, but we are soul. And after overcoming the misidentification, then Krishna suggests that we should do our activity in a mood of devotion and without attachment to results. So, although in the initial part of the chapter, Arjuna gives some counter arguments not to fight, but then when he seeks guidance from Krishna by becoming his disciple, Krishna actually tells the essence that everyone is eternal soul. And the soul cannot be killed, neither by weapons nor by any sort of external arrangement or material arrangement. Soul cannot be killed because it is eternal and it is part of Krishna, which Krishna will tell in the later chapter that soul is part of the super soul or Krishna. So Krishna in this way asks Arjuna to give up the lamentation and fight. Now, having philosophically established that Arjuna would not be able to destroy his relative's soul, then Krishna explains why Arjuna needs to fight. Because Arjuna is a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means he's a guardian of the society. And he has to fight against the wrongdoers of the society because a Kshatriya or a position, administrative position, requires one to act so that the evildoers don't muster the courage to do evil. He should keep them in check. Just like a policeman. If there is a criminal crime happening and the policeman just stands there and does nothing, so then he will get the sin of not acting in time, by not punishing or not catching the criminal. So policeman will get the sin. Similarly, if now Arjuna will not fight against the evildoers like Duryodhana and his party, then sin will befall upon Arjuna and his party. So there is not, in this case, the sin will not happen if he kills. Sin will happen if he does not fight. So it is not that one should take this concept in the literal sense and he can kill someone and tell that you are soul and you are not body, I can kill you. No, actually this does not indicate that killing. Actually this indicated that Arjuna should do his duty, that one should do his duty. in our case, we should do our duty. If if one is a soldier, he should act on behalf of the country to do fight, not that he should fight whimsically for his own selfish reason. If that will be the case, then he will go to jail and he will be, become a culprit and he will become a criminal. But if he fights for a country, it is doing his duty. So here, everyone has some duty. So here, Krishna advises that one should do his duty, but not with the attachment for results. So, and if Arjuna, being the greatest hero of that time, greatest fighter of that time, if he flees from the fight, naturally he will incur sin, and also he will incur an infamy, and he will be termed as a coward by the opposing party. Although Arjuna's mentality is of a noble nature, but the opposing party will term him a coward, someone who flees from the war. And if Arjuna fights and he wins, then he can enjoy the earth. And if he dies and if he fails in the war, then he will be elevated to the heavenly planets. So the fighting has got a win-win option for Arjuna and for everyone else. In other words, doing one's own duty without attachment to results in a mood of devotion is a win-win option for everyone. So this ends the chapter 2 summary. Thank you all.